We've been given this function h of x, and we want to evaluate h at x minus 4. So we're going to start off by rewriting the h function, negative 5 over 2x squared plus 6, but I've left the x out, and every place there's an x in the original function, we're going to replace it with x minus 4. So I'm going to grab this x minus 4 and replace this x with x minus 4. What we have left to do is simplify. In order to simplify the denominator, I'm just going to do this down below. So let's rewrite x minus 4 squared as x minus 4 times x minus 4. I'm going to FOIL the x minus 4 times x minus 4. So I'm bringing down my 2, bringing down my plus 6. X times x is x squared, x times negative 4 is negative 4x, negative 4 times x is negative 4x, and negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. We can simplify what's inside the parentheses, negative 4x and negative 4x. That makes negative 8x. Now let's distribute the 2 through. So 2 multiplied by x squared is 2x squared. 2 times negative 8x is minus 16x. And 2 times 16 is 32. Bring down that plus 6 there. And then finally, the 32 and the 6, we can combine those to make 38. And then let's bring down 2x squared minus 16x. So I have simplified that denominator that I created. So my final answer, negative 5 is still in the top. But let's grab the simplified version of the denominator. And here we have our final answer. We have 2 more here to look at. Okay, so this time I've got a quadratic, and I want to evaluate this at x minus 3. Let's start by rewriting the original function, but every place I see an x, notice that I put a set of parentheses. And in for every x in the original, I'm going to replace it with x minus 3. Let's replace, put x minus 3 there and there. What we have left to do is simplify. Equals x minus 3 squared. We need to write that twice. And then here we can distribute that through 4 multiplied by x and 4 multiplied by negative 3, which gives us 4x minus 12. Bring down the plus 9. Next, I'm going to FOIL this part together. X multiplied by x is x squared. Outside, x multiplied by negative 3, negative 3x. Negative 3 multiplied by x inside is 3x. And then last times last is 9. We can bring down the 4x minus 12 plus 9, but while I bring that down, let's go ahead and simplify just a little bit. We've got our 4x, and negative 12 plus 9 is going to be, is going to be negative 3. Let's put that there. All right, next we can finish with just simplifying. And this is the only x squared, so we've got x squared. Then we have negative 3x's, negative 3x's, and 4x's, which makes minus 2x. And then we have 9 minus 3, here 9 minus 3, and that's going to give me plus 6. Okay, the last example, saving the best for last, we're gonna have a lot of fractions. So we want to have a strategy to handle those fractions. Starting off the same, we're going to rewrite the original equation, except every place there was an x, I put a set of parentheses. And in for those x's, we're gonna substitute -5 over x. I can simplify -5 over x times -5 over x. A negative times a negative is positive. And then when you multiply fractions, multiply across. So 5 times 5 is 25, and x times x is x squared. So I've got this becomes 25 over x squared. Okay, now the problem we have is we have a fraction, and then we have a little mini fraction inside of a fraction. What we'll do to clean this up is you go and multiply everything by the little mini denominator. What I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. I'm gonna put a set of parentheses around the numerator. I'm gonna go ahead and change this just to have this color coded a little nicer to purple. So I want to multiply top and bottom by that little mini denominator, which happens to be x squared. When you multiply fractions, you multiply across. X squared multiplied by 2 is 2x squared. I need to distribute this x squared to this fraction and to the -7. So when you multiply x squared times this first fraction, the x squareds cancel, and all I have left is 25. And then x squared multiplied by -7 is -7x squared.